Welcome back, Christ and Culture Season 2, Episode 1. We have a brand new cast of hosts with us this morning, right? I guess
morning.
you're recording in the morning.
Yep.
Maybe you are disappointed that we are not live. But so I don't know. Should we introduce each other? I mean, should we just start? Should we talk? I don't know. Maybe you could say your name and say something interesting that no one knows about you, I guess.
Something interesting that nobody knows about me. Oof. I feel like I'm an open book. My name is Luis Covarrubias. I help. I don't know. Something interesting, I don't know, that nobody knows about me. I don't think I'd want to say something like that in a podcast.
Well, maybe it's something no one can guess about you.
Oof.
Maybe you love Harry Potter, or
Not a
your
huge fan
favorite
of Harry
show is
Potter,
Gossip
actually.
Girl,
I have watched Gossip Girl. Yeah, I'm a Chuck Stan. Yeah.
Chuck
Chuck
Bass Stan. There you go. I am currently watching The Rookie. That's a really good show. It's a 10 out of 10 recommend. That's something interesting, I guess.
That's the cop show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the daddy cut.
So
No.
Yeah. So Abby.
I'm Abby, and something that nobody knows about me. I don't know. Oh, I have a scar here, and I ripped my lip open when I was playing softball. But you can't really tell. If you were to meet me for the first time, you wouldn't be able to see it, because amazing work. God save.
So you had plastic surgery.
Basically.
Yeah, basically. That's
So yeah, she ripped. Did a ball hit you or what?
No, I
She
ran
ran
into
into
a
a fence?
fence.
Oh, okay.
Well, I was catching a ball. It was a fly ball. It was a foul ball. But our coach had just gotten after us, and I don't like to get in trouble. So I was like, I'm not gonna. It was a play afterwards, and I wasn't about to miss it. So I was running full force, and I caught it, but the fence was right there. It was on my left side, so I couldn't feel for the wall.
You didn't see the 8-foot fence in front of you?
No, it was a chain link one, so it just.
Yeah. Did you at least catch the ball and make the
I
play?
did. I caught the ball.
Did y'all win?
I don't know. I left to the hospital.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, hey, I would have never guessed that, but interesting. All right, so I'll skip me, Bianca.
Hi, I'm Bianca. Something interesting about me. I mean, I can't compare to Abby. I mean, I don't have scars. I'll just say the show that I'm currently watching. I finished watching Ginny and Georgia, which is so good. I loved the last season.
It's good.
It was.
What is that show about?
It's a young
What is it
adult
not
show.
about? Like, honestly.
It covers
Is Ginny? Is it a boy and a girl? Two girls?
No,
two boys?
it's a mother and a
daughter.
Oh.
It's a young adult show. It covers depressive thoughts, mother-daughter relationships, crime.
Murder. Yeah.
I'm Team Joe, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah. Interesting. I mean, I feel like everyone loves murder, so if there's a show and there's murder in it, people just swarm to it. But any case, right? So me, there's nothing really interesting that, honestly, about me. I have a 4-year-old, soon-to-be 4-year-old. That's not something you would not guess. I don't know. I love murder mystery shows. I don't. Everybody does, right? I don't know.
What would
Yeah,
you
I don't
say,
know.
like, if you were given the opportunity to rewatch a show for the first time? Again,
Gossip
what
Girl.
would it be? Gossip.
Gossip
Gossip
Girl.
Girl.
All right.
Why
See
that one?
I loved it. I don't know.
When did you watch
I
that
watched
one?
it after it was concluded.
So you weren't with the season?
No. So I watched it on Netflix.
Me too.
I watched it on CW.
Yeah.
So you were with it, when it came out?
Weren't you in 8th grade?
No, I don't remember now.
Because Gossip Girl was 2007-ish,
I don't know.
8-ish, around that time.
Because I watched it on Netflix.
I was in high
Gossip Girl
school.
with another one, but
I was in high school.
I know it was a teen drama kind of thing like that. This is like
Vampires? Didn't you like the
No,
vampires?
I did watch the
Yeah.
Vampire Diaries. I did keep up with the Vampire Diaries. I kept up with the originals and the legacies. Those are good shows.
Yeah. Oh, did you? Since you like vampires, isn't that movie Sinners about vampires?
I did not watch that movie.
I've
I
never
don't-
watched that.
I didn't watch it. Everyone said it was good, but I heard it was about zombies or about vampires. I don't know,
Vampire or
but-
something like that.
I've never watched that.
But yeah, interesting. All right, so the podcast can be a little bit different. We don't really know where we're gonna go today. We kind of have a couple headlines, and we'll just see where they lead us. But like some of the biggest things that are going on in the Christian world, one of them is big in the Christian world as a whole, right? So it's this Newsboys situation that's taking place. So long story short, the Newsboys is one of the most popular and influential bands in modern Christian history. I remember listening to Newsboys when they were a rock band, like in the late 2000s, early 2010s maybe. So they were a rock band when they first started, and I really loved them at the time. And then in the early 2010s or late 2000, like 8, 9, they lost their lead singer. He retired. They absorbed or hired, however, I don't know how it worked, the lead singer. His name is Michael Tate. He's from DC Talk, one of the most influential bands in early for me, right? But I was a kid. I was in my formative years, and DC Talk was one of the most famous Christian bands in history. Anyways, so this lead singer, Michael Tate, is hired by Newsboys. They have great success. Newsboys has a re-emergence to the modern scene. They win awards, I believe. They won Dove Awards. I'm pretty sure they won other mainstream awards in Christian categories. Anyway, so what happens is Michael Tate, over the last year or so, there's been like little whispers that he's doing wrongdoing things, and then finally he like admits everything. So basically, what he's been doing is he was grooming young people. I believe it says young men. He was also he had drug abuse in his life. In his words, he says he was leading a double life. So this has kind of hit the Christian world hard. It's interesting because the Newsboys is set to have a concert here in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
So they've kind of he was already transitioning out of the band even before everything blew up, and then everything obviously blew up. So
Do you think maybe that had something to do with it though? Like maybe someone gave him a heads up, hey, you know what, you're gonna be exposed, I guess, to per se, and then he was like, you know what, let me try and take actions beforehand and start stepping out.
I'm sure that's generally what happens in anything. I mean,
Like the option to resign instead of getting
yeah,
fired.
like at a job, they say, all right, well, we're going to give you the option to resign so you don't get fired, so it's not on your resume or whatever. But, I don't know, right? So I guess the question is, how impactful is this?
Do you mean what kind of?
I guess we'll start
effect
just
would it
news,
have?
do y'all know the Newsboys?
Yeah,
Do
no.
y'all listen to the
I was gonna ask the
Newsboys?
same
Loves
thing.
them
I mean,
growing up.
what kind of effect do you think it would have on the Newsboys' legacy? Do you think it would affect it?
I
Do you
think it
something
taints
like this
everybody's
taints it?
picture. Everybody's.
Because I mean, you begin to ask yourself if this was going on set, if it was crew members and all that.
Yeah, it says that he
was
wasn't- he was
everybody
on-
just oblivious to it, or they just didn't want to see it, or they didn't really think anything of it?
Yeah.
Because if you're going on tour, you're spending every single day practically with each other. How are you not going to pick up on suspicious behavior, or where were you at this time? You sleep on the bus together, well, I'm assuming they have a bus. I don't know.
Yes. Well, it said
Yeah.
that some things went down in the tour bus itself.
You see,
plus in his house. So.
Yeah, so things like that, you would think that someone would see something, especially with a lot of people eyes on them, and then this is going on from what 2000.
2014,
For a few years.
14.
Like 20
at
years.
least, at
2004,
least, yeah, at
2014,
least.
something like
10
that.
years.
Those were the alleged years. This has been almost a decade. How why hasn't? I mean, I understand. I mean, I feel like something would have to happen to kind of you come out and say this happened, because I feel there's also that shame kind of this happened to me, especially as a male, because I mean it was I feel there would be that I would be extra scared to say something. So I mean maybe that could be why it took this long, but I mean this is
I mean,
Bianca
yeah,
was
I
saying.
think at a certain point, like you're kind of in a position where like him, like it's like who he became. So as this story advanced, like you kind of have to it's like that analogy where you have to lie out of your lies, right?
Right.
So you make
You
another
have to
lie,
keep
another lie.
going.
You have to keep lying in order to survive. And
Just caught up
on
to
one
him.
hand, right, it caught up to him, and maybe he gained some sort of freedom that everything's released, so I don't have to hide anything anymore. But on the other hand, like y'all are saying, like now when we think Newsboys, I mean,
It's
majority of people are
tainted.
gonna think of this.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's kind of hard because it's like it brings back like, man, because I remember, going, well, I never went to a youth camp, right? But like we had like conferences and stuff, and you would hear the band playing like God's Not Dead, and like it was like those
I mean,
were
it was huge.
Yeah,
That was
like it was a
huge.
great impact in the, I would say, in the Christian world. And now it's like, does that affect it? It's kind of like, oh, like, I feel like, is it like Abby mentioned, it is a bit tainted. What would you all think about that? Does it taint it, like the reputation, the legacy that they're building? Do you think they can still keep going from this? You think maybe they should change the band name?
Like rebrand.
I mean,
They
bands have done it
possibly can.
before.
I mean, I guess we'll truly see the effects like in numbers when they have their like concert here. But I feel like people would still go, and I mean, he stepped down, so people probably they probably don't see them the same. But I mean, the rest of the members are still there.
And he took accountability for it. I feel like a
He
lot
did.
of people
Well,
don't.
I feel like about that, I mean,
you
it's
can't
so
really
long.
deny
Yeah,
it,
you can't
right?
really deny
But
it. Like, it's
but
either
if
make it
he-
worse for myself and lie, or just whatever comes of it. I mean, I already got caught. Like,
Yes.
right. I mean, you can't deny that.
so
There's-
like as far as that, I feel like accountability holds only so much value at this point.
Yeah.
Because he
Well, I
didn't
mean,
admit
even
it.
in today's culture, right? You can get accused, and that's your reputation forever.
Yeah, which is
even
true.
if it's
Right.
not.
Even if it's not true.
Yeah.
But I think this is like I guess the bigger picture. I mean, yes, this is a sad story about Michael Tate and the Newsboys, but I think we can also compare it. Like you're talking about, does it taint it? Do you're gonna think of them the same? But like when a pastor or leader falls, right? Does that taint what he did through his ministry?
I feel like it's kind of like more like a time of reflection, looking back and like, oh, like, because I feel like you're thinking about it like, oh, was this going on when he was doing this, or like, because it starts to begin to like, you look back at their messages, what he was singing in this case, or if a pastor were to do it, like what he was preaching, and it was like you were preaching one thing but you were living another life. I feel like in that aspect, I think it does kind of like it kind of does affect. That's me,
I mean,
the
that's
way
an
I see
interesting
it.
conversation, right? Because then that comes the question: can God use broken people?
I do believe so, but that doesn't mean those people aren't gonna have to work extra hard to gain the people's trust, because the band can keep going, but like we said, it is gonna affect the way they're viewed. Doesn't mean they can never like regain the popularity or like the attraction again. It's just gonna be that much harder, because you can go back to like the Bible. David, was used. He still committed adultery. He still messed up. Moses was still used by God, but he never entered the promised land. Like God, I definitely do believe God can use broken people. It's going to be a little, I would say, more work. I guess I would say it like that.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think, like, then what does tainted mean?
It's just
Like, individually, like when you say, like, oh, it's tainted, have you been to a Newsboys concert?
to the concert. No, I listened to them on 96.9.
I'm trying to think, because let's use a pastor, for example. Let's say you grew up under someone's leadership, or they were influential in your life. It comes out that they were living a double life, maybe not as bad as this, but something similar to this. And the natural human response is to second guess everything that took place throughout that time.
Like a sense of betrayal.
Yeah, not even just that. It's like, was it real?
Yeah. I mean,
Or was it for the attention, fame, and money?
Yeah, like, was it real? Were my experiences real? So I think this is one of the core issues of church hurt, is that Michael Tate, right? Kind of moving away from Michael Tate, right? But he wasn't necessarily a pastor, but for a lot of these people, he was influencing, right? More on a closer level than us, right? That just heard him on the radio and stuff. There's going to be this idea of like every time they think of God, that experience is going to be kind of unfairly tied to it. And I think that's the intriguing question to me.
Yeah, because I mean, it's gonna be like per se like a reflection of like what other people may see, like, oh well, that was a Christian and well he still did that kind of thing. It kind of, I feel like it puts, how would I say it? How would I?
A bad light.
I guess
Like you view
like on the entire like Christian world, I guess. But I mean, I don't know. 'Cause I feel like people tie it together.
Yeah.
Like they think Christians are like, because I mean it's like
Like
I know
they're
we've
quick to
mentioned it.
group-
Yeah.
to put it in a.
I know you've mentioned it, but like it's hard for people to separate, or like, because that wasn't God, that was man. You know.
It's like there's a saying that says, "Can you separate the artist from the art?" And that's very difficult to do, right? So, P Diddy's going to trial, right?
Right. No, that's a big one. I mean,
Right.
yeah.
So,
No, yeah.
like, can you still listen to his music?
Well, I mean,
I don't-
personally,
Like- I
yeah.
listen to
No,
him. I don't
well, I
like-
never listened to him to begin with.
Yeah, I'm
if being
trying to think of
honest,
a
so
better
I can-
example. Like, do y'all know who Carl Lentz is?
I think before my time.
Because I'm saying, like, can you still listen to?
I don't think you can. Because I
Can you?
think.
Would you listen to a Michael Tate song tomorrow? Like, would you play a song of Michael Tate's in church?
Oof, that's
That's
tough.
a tough question.
Like, can you listen to a pastor's sermon that maybe he was committing adultery in his previous life?
And
Like,
he's-
would you still be able to, or
I-
think it's possible to gain something through a
I think you
sermon,
can.
even though
Yes.
you
I
know?
think you still can.
Because the same message still
that-
remains.
Yeah, the message was like from God. It wasn't from man. The man messed up. It wasn't God. And I feel like that's where we would still have to be able to separate, like, from
But
man
that-
from God.
The separation is hard. I mean,
Yeah,
at
no,
least
no,
for
it
me,
is,
like
but,
all I
like-
would be thinking about is like, well, like your example, I'd be thinking like, well, he just cheated on his wife. Like,
Yeah.
how
I mean,
true are the words? I mean, if it's from God, it's true. But like coming from, it's hard for me at least to separate the. How can you say that when you're not taking your own advice in a sense?
Yeah. But I mean, we're flawed. I mean,
I know. Yeah, I
yeah,
understand.
it's like I
that.
mentioned, like people from the Bible. You know, Moses, Elijah. He was still used greatly by God, but he still ran away. He let fear. He let those like emotions.
anxious.
Yeah, like get
depression.
Yeah. So I feel like it is definitely going to be hard. I'm not saying that it's not, and it's going to be extremely difficult. But I do believe that, like, putting aside like us talking about them being like tainted and the stuff they've done, the work that they've done, like, well, before this, right? It's hard to like explain
Yeah, I
it,
mean,
but like the songs that they wrote, the songs that they released, I mean, they're always gonna have like a certain kind of value to me because that's something that I grew up with. It's like, yeah, it kind
I
of
mean, let's
ruins
say
it a little bit.
you're
but-
driving in your car and you turn on what is their most famous song?
God's not
God's
dead.
Not
Not Dead, probably.
you blast God Not Dead. What are your friends saying?
Well, they're gonna listen to it, or not even watch, because that's what I want.
I'm like, hey, isn't that?
Listen to the casting.
Yeah.
The casting.
The David Crowder band.
Yeah,
something like
I just
that.
think it's an interesting conversation. And as someone in leadership, I mean, yeah, like it's difficult, right?
Yeah, no,
'Cause
definitely.
There's this idea where you have to be perfect, and
Yeah.
the
Which
moment, like,
it's also kind of like it stinks because I mean, like I know we've mentioned it before, and I know you've preached on it about it a few times, but we are held to like a higher standard.
Yeah.
And that's just the reality of it. And then people use one bad thing, especially when it's someone that's so known, and they use it to like I guess address the entirety of the people, like the Christian community. So it's
yeah, I can't remember the saying I heard, but it's basically like leaders are held to their worst moments of their life.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
which I mean, it would be true. I
Yeah.
mean, that's just the reality. You see someone, or like you know someone, and like you like what's it called? Like, oh my goodness, I went blank. Like Michael Tate, right?
Yeah.
I bet now he's not gonna be like, hey, that's the
That's
is the
the lead
leader of
singer.
the lead singer, and he
Yeah.
did this. You know, it's not gonna be like, hey,
It's
well,
gonna
he's
be
the one
like-
that sang this song and it was super good. It's gonna be like
He's
Yeah,
the one
no,
that
that's-
did this.
the reputation,
That's
you
his. Yeah, that's something he's gonna have to embrace. the road to recovery, which he said in his statement, he's already on the road to bettering himself, right? Which is another conversation in itself,
I
right?
mean, there's really nothing else to say. What am I gonna do?
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah, I'm still doing it, right?
Like, yeah,
It's just, yeah.
I mean, I think whatever happens is gonna be between him and God. Ultimately, I mean, that's just what it is.
Yeah, I just think it's interesting. Like, okay, like last thing as we wrap up that topic, like, would, as a Christian music ingester or someone that listens to Christian music, would you, I don't know why I said that, would you be open if Michael Tate came back into the Christian world? Like, maybe not through music, maybe he started a podcast, or maybe he,
Like to talk about his experience on the road of recovery?
I guess, yeah.
Like
I feel
what
like-
he...
Oh, go for it.
No, like what him and God worked on together to be changed, in a sense.
Yeah.
I feel like it would just have to be like that, like praying about it and like, okay, this man has actually changed, because I feel like giving the platform to just someone, it's like not being sure, not meeting him,
well,
not getting to know him.
yeah, but like
not-
nowadays, like everyone has their own platform, right? We have our own platform. We
Yeah.
just start a YouTube channel, right? And we have a platform, right? It may not be very big, but
Yeah.
Right.
And I think it's hard because like, how do you know someone's changed before they've proven that they're changed?
Especially if you don't know them.
Well, that's what
Yeah,
I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
you would have to like get to know him,
Yeah.
look at the fruits, because I mean, do I believe that God can redeem anyone? Absolutely, I do. But it's now being sure, praying about it, and like experiencing firsthand that he actually has changed.
Yeah.
And then we would start, okay, you know what, like you're allowed to use our platform.
Yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
sad. Michael Tate I remember just watching music videos when music videos were a thing. Yeah, and I thought they were so cool, like DC Talk. And stuff
My
like
favorite
that.
song, I think, was I Believe.
That's a slow song.
That one was my favorite one.
I'm not just saying. That, yeah. Newsboys, but interesting
Yeah,
thing.
really.
Like,
That one was my favorite.
yeah, I remember. Yeah, I wasn't honestly a huge fan of Newsboys, but
I think I knew like the top hits, which I probably still have in my playlist, and I don't think I'm gonna delete them. I mean, they're bops for a reason. So
yeah, I don't know what I would do, honestly. Like
I
if
think
it was like a
if
band that I really
Delete
liked, like I don't know.
Like, what if it was like Jeremy Camp or something?
Like
We used to
Abby
listen to him.
Gamboa?
Jeremy,
I'd be
Jeremy
like,
Camp to
no.
me was like one of the
No.
highest. Jeremy Camp,
Jeremy
Toby
Camp
Mack,
was good.
those were like, okay, like I would listen to their songs like all the time, driving home at night, even being older, sitting on our knees. Those were like the songs that I would listen to.
I still listen to those. I feel like
Yeah.
I would be a little more heartbroken if it was like one of those artists that I actually really know, but
Yeah,
it's just sad to hear.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely.
But well, yeah, I don't know.
Do you think his band before knew?
I mean, we can only go by the information we have. And it says it started in 2004. In 2004, the previous band was already
Dissipated?
yeah. So they were popular in the 90s, and then they broke up. They were a boy band. So Toby Mack was in that band. It was Toby Mack.
Oh,
I'm teaching to young people.
I don't know about the other band.
Yeah.
Me neither.
So it was Toby Mack, Michael Tate, and this other third member named Kevin Max. He tried to create his own. He went solo, but he wasn't greatly successful. But Toby Mack was the one that blossomed.
Exploded.
Yeah, he exploded, and then Michael Tate caught on the Newsboys, and that's why he remained in the limelight.
Has Toby Mack said anything about?
I don't know.
this, do you
I
know?
honestly, I
I don't think he
honestly-
would say anything.
But I mean, definitely things will come out with these, because now that the the lens is on it, people are gonna
Yeah,
start
because
investigating.
I know Toby Mack
detective
went
work.
through his own struggles because his son,
Yeah.
I believe, committed suicide, or he had drug issues. Yeah, so he went through his own stuff too, so maybe he's not gonna even touch this.
Touch the
stuff. Yeah,
subject.
especially if it didn't have anything to do with DC Talk.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was one of the biggest stories that kind of blew up this past couple weeks, but.
Wow, June 5th, 2025.
Yeah, it's crazy. We won't tell you what date it is today, but it's crazy. So there's one other story, right, that I thought was interesting, that caught my eye on TikTok, obviously, I was scrolling through TikTok. Lecrae has a podcast, very popular. It's kind of like mainstreamish now, like has a lot of audience, big audience. And then there's this man, a pastor that, in my opinion, is one of the best explainers of the gospel. When he preaches in a soft tone. He preaches very easy to understand. He uses great illustrations, and he's a great speaker. His name's Francis Chan. He's written many books that were influential in my life that I read that were given to me. I believe Crazy Love is one of them. If I'm not mistaken, I might get getting it confused, but I believe he wrote that. Or no, might not have been him. But there's a book about love that he wrote. It is Crazy Love, yeah. So it's one of the great books talking about God's love. But anyways, long story short, he went on this podcast and he says that he quit pastoring his mega church or a mega church because it got too big. And he felt that he wasn't in a position where he could create genuine relationships with every single person. And he talked about how in the early church, that was kind of the primary focus of the church, right? And this is nothing bad about mega churches, right? I have mentors in mega churches. I like mega churches. I know good people from mega churches, but this is not really talking about that. But I think he had one interesting quote that I want to kind of discuss, right? And he said basically that he had this thought that came to mind one night, in which he says that if Jesus was walking here today, my church would be bigger than his. That's a crazy quote, at least for me. And I don't know, what do y'all, like?
Well, I mean, maybe, but I mean, I think it comes down to the fact that, the way it looks and how Christianity sometimes now is kind of like popular.
At the moment.
At the moment, right? Like trending, I guess.
Because right now.
I think you could say Jesus would have followers, and you could say that his church was just full of fans. If that's the case, that there was no actual like relationships, that nobody was actually being fed spiritually, and they were just there just to be there. So, I mean, I think at that point it's not about quantity, but it's about quality.
You said fan, not a fan. There's a book. It's called Not a Fan.
Oh,
it's basically difference between being a fan of Jesus and being a follower.
Oh, there you go.
But anyway, that's just something that pops in my head.
I do agree that it's sometimes harder to build genuine connections with everybody if there is a massive amount of people. I'm not saying that they can't feel the Holy Spirit. I just think, like, you lose the connection of, hey, good morning, to every single person that walks in, because, I mean, it's kind of impossible to say hi, good morning, how are you, to 5,000 people. Like, you're not going to have enough time.
Yeah, I think, also, you can go. You're going to say
Well, no, I was just going to say that, because he says it himself, that he just felt that they were just playing church at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And he also goes on to say how, like, in the smaller ones, you can see the supernatural of the Holy Spirit actually flowing versus compared to his mega church.
Do you think that has to do with something like just wanting more numbers instead of, like, focusing on the genuine relationships and tangible presence of God? I mean,
I think a part of it is that Francis Chan is different than your general mega church, because he's a celebrity in Christianity, right? You guys may not know him, but yeah. He has best-selling books, right? If Francis Chan would come to the Valley, he would probably sell out any arena. Like his name carries weight.
What do you think? Maybe was like the problem. He started focusing more on like the celebrity side instead of like the actual teachings and like why he was doing it in the first place. He lost his why, I guess.
It could have been. I mean, I didn't watch the entire podcast. This one quote really stood out, right? Probably not a good thing to admit, but I mean, who watches entire podcasts? But anyways, like I think that could be part of it. Like another part of it is like naturally, if he could start a church anywhere in America, and he would probably be a mega church within a year
because of his name.
Because of his name, right? So like. There's mega churches here in the Valley that their pastors aren't necessarily celebrities.
Yeah. You see, I think that's not exactly a bad thing. I think what made it like a bad thing was when he started admitting that It was that they weren't, what's it called, getting those genuine relationships.
Yeah.
I think that's what was the bad thing. Because, you know, when he said that, like, it would be greater. I mean, even Jesus said, right, I had to, like, search it up just to double check. But when he ascended to heaven, he told his disciples that you would do even greater works.
Yeah.
So it's not anything bad. It's like you're doing what God sent you to do. It's just you're losing your way because now you're not focusing on the actual relationships. You're not focusing on leading them to God. You're just focusing on the numbers. And I think that's where it gets a little tricky.
Yeah,
Because,
yeah,
I mean, I could assume it's hard, like being a shepherd and having like 1,000 people.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to get tough. How would you
Yeah.
keep that genuine relationship with each and every single one of them?
Yeah.
You know? So I think it is a little easier when it's a smaller church. But I mean, to have that big platform, I mean, yeah, like, you could be definitely influential, but at that point, it kind of gets hard to make sure that the impact that you're having on the church itself is actually being like, it's not just hype, it's being used by God, I guess. Like,
Yeah.
that's what I'm
I
trying
mean,
to say.
I think part of it is like when you have a church that big, like there's like meeting quotas,
Mhm.
there's like business goals that you
Yeah.
just have to meet every week, right?
Yeah.
And it's not that you're prioritizing that over a movement from God. It's
Mm-hmm.
just like we have to survive, and this is how we survive every
Yeah.
week. So like, yeah, I probably won't say that, but anyway, like even our church, right? For example, like we have a church of maybe 60-ish, maybe a little bit more,
Mhm.
sometimes. Like it's hard to manage relationships with every single person.
Yeah.
Like even like, oh, I forgot to say hi. Like me and Abby will talk after church, and like, oh, I forgot to say hi to this person. Forgot to say hi to that person. So I can't like thousands of people. A lot of that onus falls on your team. How good your team is, how strong your team is, and I don't know. Like, yeah, I just think it's interesting because Francis Chan is like, if you've never heard him, like, I encourage you to listen to a preaching of his, and you'll get it. Like, right as soon as he starts speaking, you understand the authenticity in his voice and the way he speaks.
So now at his smaller church,
Yeah.
does he turn away? Does he have like a set capacity that he wants to keep, and that's it? Like he turns away other people.
Well, I mean, he says, I don't know if he has them physically at his house or a house.
Yeah, I think he was saying house church.
Yeah,
'cause-
but I think he just like limits the address he gives to people. I
Right.
would imagine, right? And I mean, more than anything, I guess he's just like discipling people because he wants to create that relationship with them, like they did in the early church, which
Yeah.
is what we're called to do technically. And sometimes we get lost in the sauce, right? We get lost in every Sunday and meeting quotas and making sure that
Yeah.
the lights are working properly and the stage is set and the children's ministry is ready and even in a much smaller church, right? Sometimes we do get lost in trying to check all the boxes and forgetting, is
Yeah,
our
because he did
spirit in
mention
the right place?
that
Is our posture in a place of worship?
Yeah, because he did mention that he was concerned about like the supernatural gifts not being present
Used.
in like his mega church as it was described in like the early churches.
Yeah.
So, I mean, ultimately, I mean, maybe it wasn't the best quote, right, that he gave, but I mean, I feel like at the end of the day, if God was the one that spoke to him and God was the one that told him, hey, like this season of your life, it's time to change the chapter. And if it came from God and he's just following God's will, then I mean, then 100% he's going to succeed and we'll be able to see the fruits of his labor regardless. So.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just an interesting quote that
Yeah, no,
caught me
sure.
because, I mean, imagine saying, like, my church would be bigger than Paul's. Or
Do
Yeah,
you
'cause-
think?
Jesus.
Because Bianca made a good point when she was saying that airplanes are now a thing and cars are a thing and it's more populated. Like, do you think that he maybe thinks like that because there is more people now in general, like on the
Oh, like
earth?
the comparison to
Yeah.
Jesus or
Easier
Paul.
traveling and everything like that
Yeah.
as well. I mean, it is a lot easier.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Like, it
social
is
media,
interesting.
like-
I think his point is that it's because in the podcast, I don't know if the quote is here, but it says that he mastered how to build a
Public
church.
speaking. Oh.
And public speaking.
Like he knows how to engage
Yeah.
the crowd, keep
So
them
yeah,
entertained.
exactly. He knows
He was
how.
I think he did mention here
Yeah.
that he says that he's a better speaker, no?
Yeah, he said
He mastered how to captivate people with his speech and all these different things, which a lot of pastors figure out how to do. And I mean, if we think of the time of Jesus, is that in churches today, right? And we can get into this topic, right? Jesus made it clear up front that it was going to be difficult to be a follower.
Yes.
Right? And right, I don't know if this is a criticism of the church, right? We try to make it as easy as possible for people to come in, which we should do because we want to draw them in.
Right.
You want people to feel welcome.
But like, yeah, so I mean, I guess that's one thing, right? That a lot of churches will do to go to great lengths to make sure people are comfortable, to keep them.
Do you think there's that many people because they're not as involved in the church? Like, because when you get involved, that's when it's like, I have to make time for this, I have to do this, I have to do that. And if you're just, in a sense, going just to listen, like he basically explained.
Like to say like you're a part of it?
Yeah, just say like you're a part of it. And that's where he felt like, well, I'm not really impacting lives
Yeah.
if they're just here and not even doing anything. They're
Yeah,
not
that makes sense. I mean,
growing in a sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the case with every bigger church, that you have your group of people, that your core members that serve every weekend or serve every other week or serve every time there's a big event. You have your men that are loyal to the men's gatherings. You have your women that are loyal to the women's. And then you have, right, we're talking about, the body of a church. You have people that go on Christmases. You have people that go on Easters. You have people that go when there's free food. Yeah, you have people when they're. I mean, it's not that bad, right? You have people that have a greater need, and they go when the church is giving it back, right? And I mean, that's kind of how you build a church, right?
Yeah.
But like I'm sure there were probably thousands of people that never ever met Francis Chan in their life that said they went to his church. And that's what he had a problem with.
which I mean would make sense. I mean,
yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, he's a great speaker. Maybe I fell into, like, if Francis Chan's church was here, maybe I would go to his church. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. Like these two things, right? Obviously, there are a lot of things going on in the world. I don't know anything y'all want to bring up. Could be related to these topics. It could be something. It is June. I don't know. I'm just saying, we're in June. We're in the middle of summer. You guys are kind of in vacation almost.
I'm still working summer school, but almost.
Vacation.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I think these were pretty solid topics. I mean, a lot of stuff to reflect on and really think about it. I mean, as far as like legacy goes, or the continuation of what God has for Francis Chan, and what he's doing. So, I mean, I don't know, ladies, do y'all have anything else y'all want to talk about, bring to the table, or?
I don't believe so.
No.
All right. So this is what. So next episode, bring your favorite TikTok video from the week.
Like any?
Yeah, like whatever was the funniest or whatever was the most whatever TikTok video you watched the most. And I don't know if we can we put it on YouTube? Right, we should be able to put it on YouTube. And then we'll watch it.
All right, well, I've been watching a lot of Superman TikToks, so hopefully we get a little sponsorship from James Gunn or something, because...
Sponsored.
Yeah, people don't like Superman.
He loves
Superman.
The actor? I love Superman, but do you like the actor?
new actor.
Look, I love Henry Cavill. Right? That guy is a good-looking guy. Like, I'm never gonna deny it. He's awesome. The way he portrayed the character was awesome.
Was this guy named David, right?
David Cornsweet?
Yeah.
Yeah, Henry Cavill, I mean, it's kind of like that, like, argument between, like, the best, like, Spider-Man. A lot of people grew up with Tobey Maguire. So to me, like, Henry Cavill will always be my Superman. I mean, also the way his acting and everything was great.
A lot of people like the new people. They haven't even seen the movie and they like the new person's acting.
My thing is that, I mean, James Gunn, if you follow Guardians of the Galaxy, he's done the first, the whole trilogy. And those are one of the, like, I think hardest things to do for someone that's creating a trilogy or like a sequel of any kind is for the movie to continuously get better, and James Gunn has done that. From Guardians of the Galaxy 1, 2, and 3, I think it's always been a solid movie, and to me it just gets better. So I do believe in his like.
So this is gonna be the worst Superman movie.
No, I think it's gonna be awesome.
I don't know, because
I mean, I personally didn't like it. I didn't like the fact that they recasted Henry Cavill because I wanted Henry Cavill to be Superman. But I'm
He's
not
too
gonna
old.
like hate on David Cornswet and not even give him a chance.
What's
I mean,
his name?
Who? Henry Cavill?
No.
James Gunn?
No.
David Cornswet?
Yeah. What's his last name?
Cornswet?
Corn Sweat.
Isn't it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I've just
I mean,
never
that
heard
sounds
that.
right,
I've
but-
never heard the last name.
But I'm pretty sure that's what it is. If not, I apologize.
He
for
also
saying
just
his
likes
last name.
Henry Cavill because he
That's
thinks he looks like him.
I mean, I've been told. But,
Corn Sweat.
Yeah.
What a
said it wrong,
name.
Yeah.
but I mean,
He looks like Henry
He-
Cavill.
I mean, there's similarities. I mean,
Yes.
he's six. I think he's 6'4", 6'5". I mean, he can embody. he can
Similarities.
embody.
How much
He
does
can
he weigh?
embody. I think like about 220,
How much can he bench?
He can embody Superman. So I'm not gonna hate on him for like just because he's not the Superman that I wanted. So it's free. A fair shot. So
I saw
think
the
that was
trailer. It
biggest
looks
thing.
pretty good.
Yeah, no,
A
it
lot
looks
of
like a
people-
good movie.
I mean,
think
I'm
people
still
were
gonna
just
watch
hating on
it.
because it wasn't Henry Cavill.
Oh, people were hating on it. I saw the opposite. I saw that they loved that he could make adjustments. Oh, how would you say it? Adapt his voice to like the Superman voice and
it's just the one of the take because I think the last person that did that was the first Superman.
Right, and a lot of
that
people liked
he had like
that.
that Clark Kent where he would talk like kind of like
Oh, yeah,
anxious
the
and
voice.
nerdy, and then when he
Yeah.
would become Superman,
He becomes
since they're two separate
confident.
people, he speaks more with confidence, which you could see that. And I think it was the first trailer when Lois Lane is interviewing him. That's what I'm probably gonna bring, guys. I'm probably gonna bring a TikTok.
Wait.
He's like, I'm ready. We're already starting the next one.
Let's play a game right here to finish. So
Okay.
it's watch once, buy the movie, or skip. And the three movies are Fantastic Four,
The new one
Superman. Yeah, obviously.
or okay.
The one these are summer movies.
Okay.
So it's Fantastic Four.
Okay.
It's Superman, and is the third biggest one going to be Jurassic World, the reboot?
I've actually never seen.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna skip
Jurassic
that
World.
one because I've seen Jurassic Park, like the
Is that
old
the
ones.
third biggest one?
Jurassic World was the one with Chris Pratt, which I mean I think he did pretty good.
I saw those.
I think the new one is the one with Scarlett Johansson. No?
I've never seen
Yeah,
any.
they're kind of what is it called?
Revamped. I don't know.
There's a movie.
How to Train Your Dragon was pretty
Is it?
good.
Is that? Oh, you saw it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was literally just like you're watching the cartoon, which
Yeah,
is like
just
a
in-
good thing. I feel like it was awesome that they didn't really change things, but then at the same time, I feel like that was the thing that was like I don't know, like I liked it, but then I didn't like it. It was weird.
He knew
It's because
everything
if they
were gonna
changed too
expect.
much, then people would criticize it even more.
Yeah.
You know?
What,
Which
the
was
dragon
cool,
movie?
but then it was
Yeah,
like
the
you literally just watched the cartoon. Just
The dragon
I
But
mean,
it
don't
was
get me wrong.
good.
Yeah, no, they did a really good job, like bringing them to life and everything. It was just, it's like I watched the cartoon again, so it was like.
So
yeah.
like Wicked or
Oh,
that's
Bianca's.
Avatar. Is the
Oh,
big one.
Avatar is the 3 highest grossing movies.
Yeah. No, it's coming out in December. Avatar and
Wicked comes out in like November.
Yeah, Wicked comes
Yeah,
out.
I
in
probably
November.
would
She's
skip
on
Wicked.
I'm on Wicked.
Skip
was
Wicked.
good.
You saw it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's not
He didn't see it.
Superman.
All right, let's do Avatar. Avatar.
good.
If you don't watch Avatar, like I feel like you.
We're talking about the Last Airbender.
Like
I
even,
know.
no.
I watched The
Avatar.
Last
That was a
Airbender.
good one.
People.
James
That one
Cameron's
was a good one.
Avatar.
Oh, okay.
That one was the top selling movie for the longest.
Yeah, the first movie that was ever shot
It
in
got
3D
debunked.
in 2008 or 9 came out. So you're gonna marry or not marry?
Mary.
Bye.
Mary.
Henry Cavill.
You're gonna buy
No.
Superman.
Yeah, I definitely would buy
And
Superman.
what are you gonna watch once?
Between
Which one?
Fantastic Four
Fantastic Four.
or Avatar?
I think I'd
Ooh.
skip Avatar, buy Fantastic Four, and then watch Superman once.
Okay, no, I would buy Superman so I could watch as many times as I want. I would watch. It's watch and the other one not watch at all.
Yeah, you miss it. Like you
Like,
never
you skip
watch
it.
it. Yeah, you never watch it.
I
So-
probably watch Fantastic Four once and then skip Avatar. Just because Avatar 1 I thought was super slow.
I loved Avatar
the-
1.
I love the second one.
I never watched the second.
The
one.
second one was
The
really
water
good,
one?
but
Yeah.
it took me like a year and a half after it
watch
came
that.
out
Yeah.
to watch it. And
No.
then that
Watch
first
that.
Avatar movie, I didn't watch it until after I watched Avatar 2. So
I can never get behind Avatar.
Yeah,
I mean, I
so
like
to
the
me-
ride
I
at
mean,
Disney, but that's
the
about it.
idea is super interesting. I think the biggest problem is they waited too long from Avatar 1 to
Oh, no,
Avatar
100%,
2.
but-
Do you think they waited so long because they got beat for the #1 spot, so they were trying to reclaim it?
Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know, but it also took them a long time.
Yeah,
They
I
had
don't know if it had to
come
do
up-
with like technology stuff.
Yeah, I think the technology. I think the technology had a lot to do with it because they had to create like the certain cameras and all that to be underwater.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think that had a lot to do with it. The lack of technology.
Yeah.
But I mean, they got it
So-
now. And
Yeah, so I'll probably watch Avatar.
Superman or Fantastic
I'll skip
Four?
Superman
Oof.
because I have so much hope for Fantastic Four.
Really?
I have not liked a Marvel movie
Since
since the Endgame.
Really?
you too. Well, me
No.
too.
I've been checked out on Marvel. The one that got me a little bit excited for Fantastic Four was the new Avengers movie, or the
Thunderbolts?
yeah. I liked that movie. That was the first movie I
I
enjoyed.
thought it was all right. I mean, there's Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Oh, I
That one
like
was
that
awesome. She was
one.
crying within
I-
just
I-
the intro. Like,
I like
I
that
don't
one.
love Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't love Marvel movies because I feel like there's too many jokes.
what do you mean?
But it's good.
I want my movie. I want
To
my
be serious
superheroes to
action?
not be joking around when they're trying to save my life.
So it's like Captain America 1 your favorite because he was very serious in
He's
that,
a,
in that
it's a
first
good
one.
one. My favorite superhero from the Marvel series is Bucky.
Oh, he's very serious.
I can see that. I mean, he's gonna be Captain America, hopefully.
Hopefully.
I mean, I read an article that said that he was supposed to be Captain America, that he extended his contract because Disney gave him that he was gonna be, but then Anthony Mack got it. So I don't know.
But yeah.
Maybe there'll be a movie where like they fight for it or something.
I don't think they'll fight for it. I think it's gonna happen in with like all the, oh my god, what is it called? Like the alternative realities and all that. They're
Oh, okay.
oh my goodness,
All
I lost the word.
multiverses.
I
I lost the
think
word, but
I would, because I haven't said mine.
oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So maybe we should start a movie podcast.
I
Literally.
I would skip Superman.
Oh, that.
Okay, well, I can go alone.
Well, it's
myself.
my
Personal
preference.
preference.
The other two were Fantastic Four and
Avatar.
Avatar, but I like the original Fantastic Four.
The original Fantastic Four was good.
Wait, which
No
one?
one could ever beat that one.
The
There's
one with
two.
the one
no.
the
The
one
original
with
Jessica Alba?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I never saw that one.
Those were good movies.
I thought you were talking about the one with Michael B. Jordan.
Oh no!
I was like, that one's not
not
good.
that
No, I
one.
didn't like that one.
The original one with Chris Evans,
Chris
Jessica
Evans.
Alba,
I don't
Reed
know.
Richards.
Reed Richards. Well, no, that's his character
Yeah.
name.
I
I don't
know
know
what
his
you're
real
talking about.
name, but I would want. I would. What's the option?
Skip.
No, I already skipped.
Skip, watch.
Watch once or buy.
Yeah.
I'd buy that Fantastic Four
Interesting.
And
I have
watch
high
one
hopes for
seven.
this one. I don't know.
Why would you buy that one?
because I really like that one.
You haven't even watched
Well,
it.
we're
yet. It
talking
hasn't
about
come
the
out.
newer
No,
one.
she's talking about
I'm
the old
talking
one.
about the old one.
Oh no, but we're talking about the new movies that
I
are
know,
coming
but I'm
out.
talking
She changed the game.
You changed the game. You can't do that.
But yeah. All right. So I think we're good. We're excited for movies. Very
Yeah,
excited.
definitely.
Yes.
Yeah, Superman.
Welcome back, Christ and Culture Season 2, Episode 1. We have a brand new cast of hosts with us this morning, right? I guess
morning.
because you're recording in the morning.
Yep.
Maybe you are disappointed that we are not live.